Wow.
In tampon advocacy news, submitted by Aunt Irma. 7th graders bake tampon-shaped cookies to demand free menstrual products at school.
Wait, say that again.
Stay woke, kids.
7th graders bake tampon-shaped cookies to demand free menstrual products at school.
Nice way to demand shit.
Well done.
They had asked for free tampons because, I mean, I guess that's around the time that everyone kind of needs them. So, but the principal apparently at this school said that the male principal said no because they would, and I quote, abuse the privilege, which
what privilege?
I'm gonna steal more tampons.
Privilege.
I have the luxury to choose when I bleed out of my fucking vagina, man. It's every fucking month.
I don't know that I would call it a privilege, and I don't know that anyone would abuse it. Like, who is over there just like, I'm gonna stuff like 20 of these in there?
Yo, I can't wait to get this in.
3 tampons. I'll put 10 in at once.
Yeah, I'm like, how?
Well, no, the abuse would be they would grab multiples at a time.
Well, again, and then what would they do with it? They'll put it in their fucking vagina.
Yeah, like I'm trying to imagine like what world you were just like, oh, these crafty 7th graders.
There's so many systems that you can put in place. Use your student ID. Check out like a few a month. Set a fucking cap. Like
yeah, that would work great.
There's so many things you can do. Fucking what?
He just went with a hard no instead.
A hard no with a dumb reason. Like if you had a good reason, like hey, we're poor.
Yeah.
Sure.
Call this principal sexist? I mean, maybe because he's just a male or whatever. But
Is the principal a male?
Yeah.
The principal's a male. Okay, got it.
It's very ignorant.
What a misogynist asshole.
Double down on that, Kyle. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Power to the vagina.
Patriarchy.
Yeah.
Coming from a generally male cast of a shoot.
Down with the patriarchy.
Oh Jesus Christ.
But yeah, you guys want to see what the cookies look like? Yes.
Goddamn right I do.
All right, so I'm not gonna try and load this picture.
Does it come with blood?
Yeah, actually.
Oh, I was gonna say, are they used or not used?
It's a PC. Oh, I can zoom in. Ah! Okay, here we go. Here we go.
They baked it wrong. It could look like sperm.
Yeah, you're right. You're not far off there. Yeah.
Interesting. Why does it look like a jelly? It looks like a jelly sandwich.
Yeah.
A little bit. I don't know that that's how a tampon necessarily works, but like.
Yeah. I've seen what a tampon looks like.
You know what?
Do you think the string is edible?
You know, this is an example why they should give away free tampons, because these girls don't know what tampons look like. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Wait, and who's to assume it's all girls making these cookies? What if they're, some other individuals in there?
The title said girls, right?
No.
Or did it say students?
Your mind filled in the blanks.
7th grade students.
7th graders bake tampon-shaped cookies to demand free menstrual products at school.
How dare you assume that it's only females?
Middle school students.
Well, man, then the boys would definitely be abusing that privilege. That's for sure. So then I hope so.
So Twitter is going in on this, obviously, because Twitter, do your thing. Like fucking Twitter did its thing.
Twitter's on a
comments are as follows: like, privilege is never knowing what it's like to be caught in public without a tampon when you need one. Fantastic. These girls have really hit the perfect balance of activism, peaceful protest, and my favorite, snark. Which I would agree. I don't
think it's snarky enough.
You don't think it's snarky enough? How would you make this snarkier?
Like, you're giving, like, the guy's getting cookies, man. He's like, no tampons, but oh shit.
But I guess I'll take some cookies.
They're making it to make fun of him, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he still gets a treat. Don't give him something he can enjoy.
So if I disagreed with you on something and I came to fucking work with a box of cookies and said, fuck you, Nelson.
But I still get a cookie. It wasn't something like, if you put it in like a flavor I hated, I'd be like, fuck, now it's like.
Maybe these are blood flavor.
Can you bring the plate of cookies to give to everyone, and then like if Nelson didn't want it, just be like, no, you can't have any. I'm gonna charge you $5 for these cookies.
Oh boy, I guess so. Yeah, sure. Yeah, that could work. Everyone gets a cookie but the principal.
Yeah, that's snarky. Wait a second, what if it's a combination of both? Because like, think about it. You make something sweet and nice, so he's like, oh, you know what? These kids are nice. And secretly they're like,
are you gonna do some biological warfare
shit?
Yeah, secretly it's
crossed over into like felony crimes.
That's a really bad crime.
And potential assault. So
it was a news article.
Good side for this one.
I like to think that they just were trying to make a nice, happy cookie.
You're not gonna get anywhere with that strategy.
I think this is adorable in the sense that like it's adorable under the snarkiness, just because they're playing nice. They're being really sweet to the point where you can't hate on them for really trying to make a point.
Because I don't think they're being offensive. I don't think that they're being disruptive. I think that it's a very calm way to sort of like express their frustration with the administration and not in a way that is like, oh, we're gonna go break something or something like that.
They need to mix more red and black food coloring together just for it to be a little bit more accurate.
Oh,
but,
I see what you're going
for.
It's just like,
sometimes it like, expands a little more than just that, so it's just.
So have different sizes.
You know what though? Like, actually, yeah, I agree. Like, I actually think that is.
I agree. You should have more black food.
I agree. Yeah.
What are things
of this, you know?
But see, this actually is like a very interesting like case study of like kind of getting someone to better educate themselves because of the fact that it's not snarky to the point where maybe he'll feel attacked.
Yeah.
Which like it still sucks that you kind of have to educate people in such a soft way, but it's like that. I could see that actually being a very good way to kind of win him over, even if he doesn't agree or understand with it. If it's like, all right, you know what? Hey. Like these kids, this obviously matters to them.
And there's a little bit of humor in it too. So like I feel like that's one of the better ways to like kind of.
And it's soft PR to where he's still given away where he can still make himself look better.
Right, yeah.
As much as I agree with this, and I'm just playing devil's advocate in this suggestion, what's the financial like?
I don't know actually. I don't know what the financial.
How is that gonna lean on the school a little bit? Because
that's a good question, and I mean I think that
teachers already have to pay for their own materials.
No, totally. Yeah.
Get rid of his Ferrari.
Like honestly, I've seen a lot of principals, and none of them drive Ferraris.
I can't say I've seen that many.
In the public school system, like especially in like most normal neighborhoods, I don't think they're driving Ferraris.
I feel like I see a lot of BMWs.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Not in my school.
The reason I asked is because like with all the like the sexual education or like you know human sexuality studies and whatnot, they're handing out free condoms and free like you know other forms of prevention for like STDs and pregnancy and things like that. But what's that gonna do for tampons?
You know, that's a good question. I think that it definitely speaks a lot to like the political climate and how underfunded a lot of education is nowadays.
I'm just curious.
I think that there is room to like. I would definitely love to see more public services offered at like schools and stuff, especially because it comes with a lot of education there too, right? How to use it, why you're using it.
Where is this? Do we know what state?
School is in. That's a good question.
Because depending on the state, depending on where you are, maybe they don't even want to talk about periods, right? So even the cookie thing could be a big deal because it's like, oh shit, we don't even want to like think about the idea of menstrual cycles, right?
I think it's definitely in the U.S. based on how this is being talked about.
Go down.
And the way, the way some people talk about like menstrual cycles and stuff, it's like the plague. It's
they just avoid it. They're like, no, I don't want to talk about any of this.
Yeah, and they
are so scared when it happens. Or like young females are so scared when like their first period comes. And it's like, oh my god, like how do you talk about something or ask questions about something?
I mean, during I don't know, at least like for all my friends who had their periods early, or they didn't expect their period to come, but they bleed through their underwear. It actually goes through their pants, and it's actually pretty embarrassing.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Some of them actually go home, so they end up not going to school, and they just go home in the middle of it. So they're actually missing a part of the education, or either that, if there's a homie out there that's like willing to sacrifice their sweater for them to tie around their waist, then like that's cool. But other than that, you just get like a blood
really
stain, and you can't even wash that off easily either.
Like, that's a really like kind of shit like choice there. Just like go home early from school, or just like show everyone that you're bleeding everyone. That's like really not a good choice for anybody.
And it's such a simple solution for something to benefit women, like because even how we're saying like the whole like okay they give out free condoms, that's still because it's part of male enjoyment, like as well.
No, I agree. I agree.
It would be a cool protesting, like people were doing on Instagram for a while. It was like a big trend or whatever, which makes people uncomfortable as fuck. And then the photos got taken down where the girls would like bleed through their clothes, bleed through their underwear, and then they would take pictures of it, right? And then they would get flagged, get taken down. Imagine if like hundreds of middle school girls just arrive at school with bloody ass pants, and that'd be like a more aggressive way.
That would be.
But it'd be like, hey, look what happens if you don't give a shit. This is just gonna happen. This is natural, right?
But it's such a delicate time for girls that age, like too. Like it's just so embarrassing. The fact that they're so opinionated right now and like expressing that in like the form of like a cookie, thing.
And in our bathrooms, I do remember they have like tampon and pad dispensers, but you would have to pay.
Right,
Like you have to.
That's why the boys need to band together. They're the ones that come to school, soak their pants in blood, arrive in classes, be like, we stand with the women, and then they just blew out
everywhere.
Exactly.
As screwed as it is, that may actually be what it takes to get by because
hell yeah.
Cause also like just you look historically and stuff like that when it does come to like women protests and stuff like that, like there's a good chance they're gonna be the ones punished. as opposed to change actually being enacted.
Yeah. And then what were the guys gonna get punished for? Be like, this is a fashion statement, bitch.
Bleeding over all over the place. Yeah.
Did you figure out where it was?
No, there's no thing here. I could probably dig a little bit more, but the internet is terrible here, so I don't think I'm gonna.
You guys figure it out. Tell us.
You tell us in the comments below.
We'll link to in the description box below and show you where that is. Another thing that I want to bring up though, because the marketing side of me is like, oh, there's an opportunity here. What if like you could have a like company sponsor this kind of thing? Because I think that talking from a business standpoint,
would be cool.
You know, I hate to relate
brand loyalty
to this particular situation, but like cigarettes did this really well. Like you get kids using your product and brand recognition of what product you're using, and then that'll continue into like later stages of their life.
I mean, it's happening already right now with vapes, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's you're identifying with one particular product or brand. So I think that there's an opportunity here for everybody to win.
And it's good PR for them too.
Exactly. So, but it's a matter of like really getting those programs into schools and stuff. And I think in a lot of states that's not necessarily the political climate of the voters and how they want their money being spent, even though I think we can all agree here that's definitely something that should be looked into more just for public health. Because if everyone's healthy, it's a better society. Everybody's happier, not as many people are embarrassed and repressed and hurt, you know, even if they're, you know, getting sick and stuff like that, because you can die if, you know, you're not taking care of it properly, so.
Did anything come of this protest?
That's a good question. I don't think so. I think that there's a lot of, no comment now is for what the administration is saying. But I think that it's, you know, based on what it's gotten on Twitter, I mean, people are noticing what it is and it's definitely bringing like awareness to it, if you want to count that as a change or whatever. Yeah.
Bring up discussion, that's always good.
Because like obviously we haven't gone through it. So like Julia, what for you like, or like what is it kind of like dealing with, I guess like a lot of the different like growth things that like females go through in school, like your personal experience of?
I don't know, it was a weird feeling to feel like something is coming out of you without you having any control of it whatsoever. It's not like I can just hold it in and be like, you fucking stay in there until
Some politicians think that, you know that?
Really?
Isn't that crazy?
So
there was this one politician that was like, why don't you just hold it in? Like it was pee. You know, you're just like,
that's not how it works.
Are you past middle age
I think this works.
and represent thousands of people?
Some of those people are probably women.
Were there resources already like kind of in play in the school system to help education on what happened, or was it like one of those things where at best you had to opt in?
I don't know, like in 5th grade, they just made you sit in this like room.
I remember that.
And then they play you a tape and it's like, oh yeah, your body's going through some changes.
I think the boys definitely need to learn about it like equally as much.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of being a politician who thinks you pee out blood.
Because there's a lot of people nowadays.
Sometimes you do.
Still very like weirded out.
Check that.
There's a lot of people nowadays that are still guys that are still like really weirded out and uneducated on periods and how they work. They're like, are you PMSing right now? And like just as an excuse to blame women for something.
Yeah, so like they didn't really tell you exactly what you're gonna go through when you bleed, or like, oh, you need to wear a pad when you're bleeding, or you need to wear a tampon when you bleed. Like they never said anything like that. It's like, oh, you're just gonna bleed out of your vagina once a month between 5 to 7 days, and this is basically the egg releasing out of you. I'm like, okay, cool.
They broke down the technical side of that.
Coming out of the classroom being like, we have a third hole, and all the boys are like, where? Where's the third hole? Is it in your armpit? That's crazy.
It's like looking for the third hole and be like, it's the elusive third hole.
God. And it wasn't until like last year, the year before, that all of us guys found out there was a 4th hole.
Oh.
Yeah, the 2 holes in the vagina. How they pee out of a different hole.
Oh, wait, I knew about that.
That's what he's commenting.
Well, no, because there's a 3rd hole, but there's another hole.
What's the other hole that you're thinking of?
Wait, because there's
You
2
just
holes
blew my
down
mind
there.
if this is real, Devin. What the
No,
fuck?
there is. Girls.
The one where you crawl inside of it and you go through space.
No, there's 2 holes. There's 2 holes down there.
Yeah. 2 + 1 = 3.
No, because of the mouth hole, there's a butt hole, and there's 2.